Hi everyone, to all my students past, present, and future. How's it going? So today I'm going to be talking to you guys about some basics of practice and some basic tools, more so, that we're going to use, that we use and should use every single practice lesson, practice session, and if you're doing virtual lessons, you should also have these available, really available to you during your online lessons. Because unfortunately with the way that technology is set up, it makes it a little more difficult if you don't have a metronome or a tuner on you. So, for me personally, I have several different tuners and metronomes. I'm going to show you my physical ones that I have, and then I'll also show you the apps that I use. Because sometimes we don't have our tuners and metronomes because you leave them here, you leave them there, you go traveling, whatever. So, here are a couple of mine that I use on a regular basis. So for tuners and metronomes, I use this one, which is the Korg TM50. You can also get the TM40, TM60, whatever's available. There's also TMR, and the TM just means tuner metronome. There's also TMR, like I said, which is tuner metronome and recorder. I haven't personally used that one, but it's definitely something that if you need a recording device, that's something you could look into. So this tuner metronome has both options that you can use at the same time. So you can see I have both of them on, and it's even picking up my voice. So always have these with you. So this is one of them. And then the other tuner that I have, or metronome that I have, it's kind of similar thing. This is the Korg KDM3. This one is a little bit more user-friendly in some ways, but you do lose the tuning aspect on this one specifically. So on this one, it does have a dial, which is nice. You can go up and down evenly. And it also has metronome markings on the side, so you can kind of already see what your metronome markings should be for your piece that you're playing. The thing that I don't like about this is that there's no option to tune, which is really important, and you should always have some sort of tuner available to you. What I do like about this, on the other hand, is that the drone option that's available is really, really loud. So right now, let's see what it's at. I'm going to turn the volume all the way down, and I'm going to turn on the tuner, or the drone. So right now, the volume's all the way down. Now I'm going to turn it all the way back up. So you do have the drone option, which is very, very important for our practice session and for our practice time. So that when we're playing, we get that pitch in our ear, and it helps with our intonation throughout our entire playing process. So those are the two that I use primarily. Then the other one, the old school ones, is this one. If you haven't seen a pendulum metronome, that's what this guy is. Now you do have to set this one down on a surface for it to actually work, and you do have to wind it up every once in a while with this guy. Just turn it. It's a great option for more of a meditative practice, which I sometimes enjoy, especially when we're doing our scales and arpeggios and some of our basic technical skills. So that's very important, and I think it's very helpful if we are focusing primarily on some of the base layers of playing. So those are the three that I use primarily. Now, I said that I also use some on my phone. And for my phone, I will use Tonal Energy Tuner, which is a great app that I use all the time. It has a tuner and a metronome. It is a bit cumbersome for those of us that don't have as much experience with music in general and music and technologies especially. So it looks like this, and when you open it up, you'll see this, which is just a little tuner and drone, and this is even more sensitive than any of the other tuners or the other tuner that I showed you. Now with this one, it has several settings. That's important to know. Make sure you have it set to something that is feasible for you. It does have options for beginners all the way up to professionals, and the sound quality in those two variants, or in those variants, makes a big difference in how the tuner will react to your sound. So when you're playing, make sure it's set up so that you can play and not freak out, because it will give you a grumpy face and it will be very confused about what's happening if you're not careful. Those are all the tuners and metronomes I use. This also has a metronome option. Again, it's very finicky. It has a lot to it. I like this metronome and tuner. It's fantastic. It's probably one of the best I've ever used on iOS devices and in general for non-traditional tuners and metronomes. But it is very finicky. So you have to be very, very careful with this one. Not to sound daunting or scary, but it's just like it's a lot of work. So be mindful of that, and be mindful that when you're playing and practicing in general, is that tuners are picking up stuff that you're giving out, and it may sound different from how you think it's supposed to sound. So you do have to adjust and you have to take time. So be mindful of those things. Always have them with you at any given time, so that when you're practicing, you're building skills that are going to help you later on. That's something that's very important. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. If you are unsure of where to get these devices, you can always use Amazon, musiciansfriend.com, www.com. Any local music store will probably have at least the TM40s, I think, or sorry, the TM50s. I think now they're on TM60s, which are a little bit different. Same thing, as long as you get the Korg TM, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I think that is it. So, like I said, if you have any questions or if anything's unclear, feel free to reach out to me and ask some questions, and I will see you next time. Bye.